Welcome back to video number 3 on this Wednesday morning. This is our palate cleanser for the Royals. This is going to be really short though. We've just got a few stories to cover, but let's just jump in and cover them, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start with Prince Andrew because there's articles coming out that say that Andrew's attempt to hang on to the Royal Lodge isn't going to go well because apparently there's a loophole. We know that he has a lease that's for 75 years. Part of the conditions of the lease was that he has to keep up the property. We know Charles has been asking Andrew to move into Frogmore, which has been completely renovated and needs no upkeep or, money from Andrew. But apparently there's a problem in the lease. Remember, Andrew doesn't own this home, okay? It's a Crown estate. And so the lease is with the Crown estate. So besides repairing the property, it says in the lease that the walls of the mansion must be repainted every 5 years with 2 coats of paint. And inside the house, he has to paint with 2 coats of paint and to paper, polish, decorate, and appropriately treat every 7 years the rooms, starting in 2010. So we already know that there's mold on the walls and there's all kinds of problems with the house. And if Andrew doesn't follow through, then actually Charles has the right to cancel the lease. And there is your loophole for removing Andrew from the house. All right, let's move on now. We're going to move on now to Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. Apparently, she went to a town called Guernsey, and while she was there, she did some sailing. So some pictures were taken of her walking towards the boat. She was wearing this really pretty bright blue shirt, some navy shorts, and a life jacket, which is really important. She was pictured on board a boat called the Ocean Youth Trust South Vessel. The name of it is the Prolific. All right, so we know that she's patron of the Association of Sailing Training Organizations, which is ASTO, A-S-T-O, and she was attending the ASTO's Guernsey to Pool Small Ships Race. Now, this event was inspired, according to the article, by the Royal National Lifeboat Institute's 200th anniversary at St. Peter Port Harbor in Guernsey. This took place on August 12th of 2024, and she did participate in other activities, a lot of activities that were related to the training organization. So while she was there, she took part in the sailing activities, and she was presented with scout badges and a scarf. Remember that Guernsey is where the king and queen were in July. And for those of you who didn't recognize it, the hat she had on was from the Paris Olympics. She brought it back with her. I think she looks good with a hat or without, but it's very obvious that she thoroughly enjoyed the sailing adventure. She liked interacting with the young people, and this is one of her patronages that I think she really enjoys. Now, when it was over, as you can see, everybody got together for the pictures and the selfies and everything. And then as she was walking away, there was this cute little itty-bitty dog that was on the pier, and being the animal lover that Sophie is, of course, she bent down to scratch its little ears. Isn't that just the cutest thing you ever saw? And as usual, a big thank you to Remoulade Sauce for showing us everything that Sophie was wearing on this day. Let's move on. Let's move on to William and Catherine. If you guys remember, they did an event in April of last year, and at that event, Catherine and William met Peter. He's the one who was selling the pizza that Catherine and William handed out. It was margarita pizza, pepperoni, barbecue chicken, just different kinds of pizza. And it was when they were visiting a rugby club, okay? Well, apparently the gentleman that gave them the pizza, they found cancer. He had liver and adrenal gland cancer. Now, he had beaten esophageal cancer before, but apparently it spread. So William and Catherine, of course, could you imagine how hard this was with Catherine's cancer diagnosis, wrote a very heartfelt letter. You can pause and read it here. Apparently it was read out at his funeral, and they're going to frame the letter for Pete's daughters who are aged 8 and 5 for when they're older. How sad. Moving on. It's being reported that Princess Catherine could be returning to public duties as early as next month, which is September, which is actually the date that I had heard previously. Royal author, Phil Dampier has said the princess has an inner core of steel and was pulling on those reserves, while she's been facing cancer. During her health battle, she did go to Trooping of the Color and the Wimbledon men's final, and they're saying it's a good sign that we've been able to see her twice since March. Obviously, it depends completely on the medical advice given, but people are expecting her to be slowly and gradually coming back for public engagements. I'm excited. All right, you guys, you know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell for all notifications. Then go down into my description box where you'll find the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Patreon, which is currently paused, my Amazon wish list, and a physical address in case there's something you want to send. And for those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.